So today the topic is going to be, how are we going to fix this frickin' world of ours? Well, it ain't going to be the senior citizens that are going to fix it. Hello? It's going to be the youth. Which means what? It means you and I are responsible to make it happen for them by raising them properly. Look at what's out there, what's going on. The kids are angry. There's so much rage, anger out there. Why? Because there's so much neglect out there. You know, you come home, everybody's working today, mother and father alike. So yeah, we're all freaking exhausted when we get home. And yes, it's a bitch to have to go after your kids about, you're on the computer too much, you're playing too much video games, you're nag. Nobody wants to do that. You're not the only one, okay? Everybody hates doing that shit. Guess what? It's your job. It's your freaking job. Because if you don't do it, this is the result. You fucked up. You didn't know how to raise your kid. You raised a monster. Every step they make from the minute they start walking, you are responsible for. You are responsible to guide them in the right direction. It's like a little tree growing out of the ground, you know? The winds are going to blow every which way. The storm is going to be horrendous. How do you get that tree to grow straight up? You surround it. You put pillars around. You hold it. You make sure that the winds don't win by putting all this barricade around it. That's what we are supposed to do as parents. You get it? We are the barricade to the fucking world. Yeah, it's 24 hours a day, I know. And you're fucking tired. So am I. Guess what? Not an option. You have the kid. You take the responsibility. Because tomorrow, karma's going to kick your ass. Big time. Do you want to be the parents of a kid that goes out there shooting other kids? Do you? Is that how you want to grow old, knowing that you are responsible for a lot of deaths out there? A lot of carnage? Are you okay with your kid going out there and torturing animals like I see on the web all the time? Crucifying them, tearing them apart, smacking them against the wall, throwing boiling water over them, or throwing in the barbecue pit? What do you think that is? Sheer rage against themselves. But they don't know where to let it go. So they take it out on another animal or maybe a child. Yeah, maybe a child. And maybe they'll walk into a theater or somewhere else and start shooting because they're pissed and they don't want to live. It's a way of committing suicide. Do you understand that? It is a way to suicide. It's a suicide guarantee. But I'm going to do this, but I'm going to take you down with me. That's the concept. I want to die, but I want you to die with me. You understand that? What are you going to do? How do you do this? You handle it. You control your child. You control his life, his or her life. You make sure you're there for them. See, the problem is that every one of you, nobody wants to get involved. My kid's getting bullied at school. Well, you know, my kid's getting bullied at school and I'm really upset, but am I going to go and get a lawyer, or am I going to go to see the director of that school? Am I going to walk into that classroom and make sure that teacher hears what I have to say? Oh, no. I'm not going to do that. God forbid somebody should, think I'm a ball breaker. Go fuck yourself. That's what I have to say about that. You shouldn't have kids. You cannot allow anybody to destroy the soul of your child. You understand? Because what is happening right now, is a result of souls that are so bruised, so angry, so hurt, that they don't know what to do with themselves. So they lash out to anything and everybody. I don't look at these kids with anger, to be honest with you. I feel sorry for them because I know that behind that is a dysfunctional family. Now, yeah, every family is dysfunctional to a certain level. I agree. But there are certain issues of dysfunctionality that are not forgivable. And that is the one of neglect. You can never neglect your child for your own selfish purposes. Because once you have a child, there is no selfish purpose ever again in your life. You understand that? Because it's no longer about you. It's about the child and society. What you owe to society. Because whatever you do, it's going to reflect on that child. And whatever that child intakes in data will reflect on society. So what are you going to do about it? It's not easy. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. Nothing is. And when you come home, it's about them. It's not about going, yeah, you can go on the computer for 5 hours. Every computer should be monitored by the family, by the way. There should be no computer in any household where there's children that is not locked down and completely checked every single day where that kid has been on the web. So you know. Their room should be checked every week. See if there's drugs, is there guns, is there memos of crazy thought, anger, rage. I'm not talking every year. I'm talking every week. And if you hear from them, that is my room, as my daughter used to say. What about my privacy? Like she used to say so well. I say, you know what? When you have your own fucking house, you can have your privacy. Meantime, this is my house, and every inch of this house belongs to me, including your ass. So now, there's no privacy. You don't have that right yet. Get it? They don't have that right yet. Everything in life has to be earned. They haven't earned that yet. And that has to be clear. You know, the parents go, I had this one parent, a friend of mine, she said, oh, well, we don't do things like you. The kid was very young. We don't do things like you, you know. We don't yell in our house. Really? So you know what happened? The kids started becoming violent towards their parents. And they were the abused. Yeah, do that. Have a baby, throw it in the crib, let it cry itself to sleep alone, abandon it right from the onset, and just leave it grow up by itself, and that's what you're going to get. You're going to get a monster. And it's your fault. It's your fault. You know, they really should take the parents to jail along with the kids when the kids do wrong. I'm sorry, but they should. The parents should be totally accountable for what the kids are doing. It's not okay. You cannot do crazy shit in your house and think your kid's going to grow up okay. You can always be very expressive. You can yell at your kid. Can't hurt him. Never. That's not acceptable. Smack on the ass has never killed anybody. So that, and once my daughter got a smack on her diaper, and you thought you'd killed her. She had a hissy fit, like, oh my God, I had to turn my back because I was laughing so hard I was crying. She had a night diaper on top of everything else, but you thought I'd killed her because she was vexed, you see. She was vexed. But what happened was that from that point on, all I had to do is threaten her. I'd go, I'm going to count to 5. At 5, you're getting a patch. I called it a patch. I don't think she even remembered what a patch was, but she knew that it was something she didn't like. That was it. I couldn't give her time out for the simple reason because She has abandonment issues, and she would flip out. I mean, she could not be isolated. She would go on flip out time. And I tried, believe me, I tested that. That was not good for her. But some kids do really well with that. But definitely, threats are great. Cause and consequences. For every action, there is a reaction. You need to start instilling that in their head. Cause and consequences. Now, hear me out loud and clear. Their brain, the frontal lobe of their brain, is not developed to understand consequences yet. So you have to spell it out. That's the way it is. You have to spell out everything that they're going to do, what the consequences are going to be. They're smart. Believe me, they get it. I remember Shia saying to me one day, Mom, why can't we use the 4-letter words? I said, well, she was 5 years old. I said, no, you can use a 4-letter word, sorry. It's in the dictionary. I use it all the time. But let me tell you what the consequence is, and then you can decide. I said, as far as I'm concerned, I would suggest you use it in the house only with nobody else around. I said, if you use it with your friends all the time, you're going to have a problem because, see, they're going to tell their parents that you do that. And the parents are not going to want their kids to be friends with you. So you're not going to have any friends. Is that okay with you? She thought about it. I could see her little wheels going. That was it. Then she never had a bad word out of her mouth. And the other parents who used to say, because I used to go when I'm in the car, I cuss like a truck driver, okay? I'm a French driver. I drive like a maniac, and I cuss like a truck driver. I do. And when she was in her car seat, so several kids were in their car seats in the back, the mother would go, oh, Patty, don't say that. The kids are in the back. Like, fuck that, right? Like, they're not going to hear this. Don't be a hypocrite. That's one thing you cannot be. You got to walk your talk. Don't be a hypocrite. Sorry, I had to remind George to stop itching his behind. Whatever. Anyway, she didn't use cuss words. And my friends who never used the word shit in front of their kids, the kids were having themselves a field time. So they come back at me and they go, how is it that your kid, you cuss like a truck driver, and your kid, nothing? I said, because you're making it taboo. Hello? Have you heard the word taboo? Big bad word. Big time bad. Because that's exactly what everybody wants to do. What's taboo? We don't do taboo in my house, so it really takes the fun out of it, doesn't it? That's how you do it. You take the fun out of it. I don't give a shit if she said a 4-letter word. Big fucking deal. We're an educated, well-rounded family. We do charity. We're good people. We don't treat other people like shit. So you hear the 4-letter word out of my mouth? If that's the worst it gets in my lifetime, somebody's got a good place in doggy heaven for me. Hello. Yeah, because that's where I'm going. I like animals more than people in general. They're more honest. I hope you're really paying attention. I know I'm bullshitting around here, but it's not bullshit. It's really serious. The whole world is going to fucking shit right now. Under religious purposes, whatever purposes, young men are treating young girls like shit. There's rape in the schools and the colleges. There's animal abuse like there's never been before. There's child abuse like there's never been before. Come on. It's coming from somewhere. In Buddhism, they say if it's happening to you, it's happening through you. Think of that sentence. If it's happening to you, it's happening through you. It's happening to us because it's happening through us. You get it? We created the situation. You got to nip this in the bud. It has to start from the minute of birth. If you don't love your child, give it to a family that will love your child. There are plenty of people out there that want to adopt children. And they'll be amazing parents because they can't have kids. And they really want one. Better to do that than neglect your child. Oh, I know you're thinking, oh, me abandon my child, but I'm a fabulous mother, I wanted this baby. Well, wanting the baby is not good enough. My mother wanted me, didn't make her a mother, I can assure you that. But she really wanted me. But lucky I was raised in Europe, so I went to boarding school. The nuns took care of me. My grandmother took care of me. My mother never did shit for me. She was a society woman, you see, who had suffered the war, the Gestapo in France, and who was imbalanced. I had to grow up fast. I know what rage is. See, my mother committed suicide on New Year's Eve, and I had just turned 18. And it's like, that's rage. I'll show you I'm going to kill myself. Because, honey, it's a lot harder to live than it is to kill yourself. These kids are committing suicide. All of them. That rage is pure suicide driven. It's not okay. You have to live with that for the rest of your life. For the rest of your life, to the day you die, you have to live with that guilt that you fucked up, that you weren't there for your kid, and you didn't know who she or he really was and what they were feeling. Because, see, you neglected that child at some point in time, and therefore that child didn't trust you enough to come to you and say, listen, I don't want to live, or I'm angry, or I hate this. Didn't trust you enough. Trust is everything in life. You cannot live without trust. And I'll be damned if your kid can't trust you. Who is that child going to trust? If you can't trust your parents, who in the fuck are you going to trust? Think about it. Think about it when you were that age. How you felt. Last night, I was at a friend's place, and he put on a movie on TV, which was the biography of Diana Vreeland about her book. She was an editor for Vogue. I don't know if you all know her, but she was a fashion icon. Not an attractive woman, but a woman with incredible style. In my book, style is more important than looks, because style is forever. Okay, I won't go down that road yet. However, she came from a family and had a sister. She had just one sibling who was beautiful. And her mother said to Diane, too bad you are not as beautiful as your sister, that you're such an ugly duckling. Who in the fuck says that to their kid? So what happened to her? She shut down. She shut down so bad that nobody could get through. She was like an ice woman, but very respected because she knew fabulosity. She was extravagant. Her kids, no relationship. Her husband, although she loved him, not so sure that there was a relationship that was from the heart, from this. Because she didn't know how to open this. The interviewer asked her, says, why is it that you don't talk about your children, your husband, your family in general? And she said, no, you don't want to go. Let's not go down that road. Yeah, let's not go down that road, lady. Because you've missed out on love. You've missed out on the most important thing on this planet. Emotions, feelings, love. To give it so you can receive it. I have to tell you that if my kid grew up and said to people that she just didn't want anything to do with me, or that I was not a good mother, or that she doesn't give a shit about me, that alone would kill me. It would just kill me. Because I would feel like the biggest fucking failure on the planet. Because failure, that's failure. Not money and career and all that shit and puts you at the top of the game. No. It's the legacy to our society that puts you at the top of the game. What is your legacy? What is your input into that human being? That's your legacy. You walk your talk. Get your shit together. If you're doing drugs, stop it. If you're lush, get help. Stop and think what's important. And do it. Again, I know what you're thinking. Well, you think it's easy. My life, my husband left me, I'm alone. Or my wife left me, I'm raising I'm a single father, and I work. Hello? Everybody's doing that. I'm doing it. It is not the time that you need to spend 24 hours a day with your kid. It is when you get home, you take over as a parent, and you make sure that everything that goes on in that kid's life is under your control, and you know what's going on. So when there's a glitch, you know to fix it. That's what I'm talking about. And I'll go back to the newborns. Don't you ever leave your child alone in a crib crying. That child belongs on your body till it's damn good ready to get off of it. You understand? It was in your body. It was in a mom's belly. And all of a sudden it comes out and we just throw it away into the crib. Let it cry itself to sleep. Bullshit. You have right then and there scorned that soul. Right there. You fucked up right there. You started right there. And you don't take the bottle away. The bottle, you'll take it away when the baby's ready. The same thing. The diapers go when that child is damn good and ready to get out of it. Respect this human being. And at the same time, guide this human being. That is your job. On that note, you've got a lot to think about. We'll get back on these subjects at another time. Have a great week. Much love.